Who's the culprit of the Maya? Research in Progress by Sophia Romer. In exploring my research topic, I have created the following thesis. After the disappearance of the Maya people, there have been more experts who claim to know what happened and what the Maya people were about in a religious sense, rather than actual hard evidence of their lives. There are a few key researchers within the field where most of the studies of the Maya come from. Throughout the years, there have been ebbs and flows of information, some of it true and some of it made up to suit the needs of specific researchers. And so, there is almost a decisive shift in how the Maya were perceived from one age of research to the next. This thesis connects to a few shorter sub-theses in broader categories: religion, personal gain, and misinterpretation. I will be exploring my research in a chronological timeline. Before analytically explored, the Maya were often thought of as a sort of people that consisted of peaceful gardeners. There wasn't much look into the complexity of their religion either. One of the main culprits of this misinterpretation is Sir Eric Thompson, an aristocratic archaeologist who controlled the narrative of the field for personal gain and recognition. He interpreted the codices, one is shown here on screen, as being works of art rather than a text full of information about them. There were some who did not buy into this. However, they were mostly pushed to the side by Sir Eric Thompson. Michael D. Coe is another key researcher that eventually helped get past the mistakes of Sir Thompson, but it took many, many years. Coe had to start again in interpreting the main source of the confusion, the Mayan codices. My research looks at how chronologically the field changed over the years through different lenses of interpretation and researchers' handling of evidence. The main source of my information is Michael D. Coe, shown on screen. His works on the Maya are the primary source of information when looking at the Maya, and has been backed by several other historians, archaeologists, and experts in the field. He spent the majority of his life looking at the Maya and lived through the stages of Maya research while also changing the narrative of the Maya to reach a place that is much more truthful to the core of the Maya. His work is essential to the field and my research. I could not create a historian's perspective essay without his work being part of the central focus of my essay. My sources are fairly limited, Coe being the main source. His book, Breaking the Maya Code, which talks about how the codices were perceived, and also has great information on Sir Thompson. The Maya, which looks at the Maya before the codices were understood. My sources are fairly limited, Coe being the main source, Breaking the Maya Code, which is his first book, which talks about how the codices were perceived and also has great information on Sir Thompson. The Maya, which looks at the Maya before the codices were truly understood, and the revised version of the book, again by Coe, after Sir Thompson's work was disproven. Relación de la Costa de Yucatán is in Spanish, and it was written in 1864 and shows the difference in how the English and the Spanish looked at the Maya. This source will also be part of a counterclaim that not everyone bought into the idea of a peaceful Maya, and how Thompson so clearly held the field back. Finally, many articles in the journal Ancient Mesoamerica support Coe's work and back him up on some of his academic small talk involving Sir Thompson. To conclude and ask for ideas and suggestions, I'm not quite sure about the title, who's the culprit of the Maya, or the thesis, which seems to not quite flow as well as I would like it. Other than Coe, there aren't many researchers that haven't used his sources, and however, I'm unsure if there's enough sources, especially not using Coe. I also can't think of another way that the Maya can be researched other than a chronological exploration of the thesis. I also can't think of another way that the Maya can be researched in a historian's perspective essay other than looking through a chronological timeline of the thesis. I could possibly look at the difference of Spanish, American, and English research. However, I'm not sure I would have room in my essay, or I would have to cut parts out of it. This concludes my research in progress. Thank you for listening.